Quality mode in this game is supposed to be locked at 30 FPS. Neither console can even hold it. And the base PS5 dips all the way down to 12 FPS. So I've tested 3 areas, every mode on both consoles, and you'll see that C's Pailune area is completely broken. What's going on, everyone? So some of you in the comments of my last video asked me to test some of the more demanding areas later in the game, specifically the DeepFog Basin fight in Chapter 6, the C's Pailune Siege, and the Myurdin Boss Fight in Chapter 7. These are the settings I'm running on base PS5 and the PS5 Pro. I have tested every single mode, performance, balanced, quality on both consoles, all on patch 1.02. Let's see how they hold up. DeepFog Basin performance mode. The base PS5 averages 35 FPS, ranging between 29 FPS and 41, nowhere near 60 FPS target. The PS5 Pro does marginally better at 37 FPS average, peaking at 44 but still dropping to 31 FPS. That's only a 2 FPS advantage. Neither console is delivering anything close to 60 FPS experience in this area. Balanced mode targeting 40 FPS. The base PS5 sits at 32 average, dipping as low as 28 FPS. The PS5 Pro, however, does noticeably better here at 32 average. It does touches 40 FPS at points, but still drops to 31 FPS as the scene gets more demanding. Closer to the target, but still not a locked experience. Quality mode is the most stable option in DeepFog Basin. Both consoles hover right around 29 FPS. You will see minor dips to 26 or 27 FPS, but nothing you would really notice during gameplay. If you're playing through this chapter, quality mode is the safest choice on either console. Seize Pailune performance mode. This is supposed to target 60 FPS. The base PS5 averages 19 and drops as low as 15 FPS during the heaviest combat. The PS5 Pro only manages 23 average with a low of 18 FPS. Neither console is reaching even a third of 60 FPS target. Performance mode, balanced mode, it doesn't matter which you pick in this area. The frame rate in the low 20s and high teens across the board. Balanced mode, targeting 40 FPS. The base PS5 averages 20, dropping to 16 FPS in worst moments. The PS5 Pro gets 24 average, but still drops to 19 FPS. That's half the target frame rate on both consoles. And look at the graphs. Switching from performance to balanced barely changes anything. The bottleneck here isn't the resolution or GPU. This is a CPU limitation. Lowering the graphics target doesn't help when the processor can't keep up with what's happening on screen. And here's the worst result across all of my testing. Quality mode. The lowest frame rate target the game offers, 30 FPS. The base PS5 averages 19, and you can see it dip all the way down to 12 FPS right here on the graph. 12 FPS in a mode designed to lock at 30 FPS. The PS5 Pro does slightly better at 22 FPS average, but it still cannot hold 30 FPS. Let that sink in. There is no mode on either console that delivers a playable frame rate in C's Pailune. Not performance, not balance, not quality. Pearl Abyss, this section needs serious optimization. After C's Pailune, The Myurdin Boss Fight is a genuine relief. Performance mode. The base PS5 averages 40, ranging between 35 FPS and 47. Still not 60 FPS. But after seeing 15 FPS in Pailune, this definitely feels smooth. The PS5 Pro jumps to 48 FPS average, peaking at 54. This is an 8 FPS advantage, a significant gap between two consoles. If you're fighting Myurdin, this is where the Pro actually earns it. Balanced mode. And this is the standout result of the entire video. The PS5 Pro delivers a near perfect 40 FPS lock. Look at this graph. It barely moves. It sits between 38 FPS and 40 in the entire fight. Meanwhile, the base PS5 drops to 33 FPS average, dipping to 30 FPS. If you want the smoothest possible Myurdin experience without the inconsistency of performance mode, balanced on PS5 Pro is the best result across all three areas in this video. Quality mode. Both consoles struggle here. The PS5 Pro averages 28 with dips to 25 FPS. The base PS5 is similar at 27 FPS average, but neither console can hold a stable 30 FPS. For a boss fight with fast attacks, where you need to react quickly, I wouldn't recommend quality mode on either console. So here's every result side by side. DeepFog Basin, playable on both consoles with quality mode being the most stable across the board. Myurdin Boss Fight, the PS5 Pro clearly pulls ahead significantly, especially in balanced with that perfect 40 FPS lock and performance averaging 51 FPS. And then there is C's Pailune area. Every single mode on both consoles running at half the target or worse. Pattern is clear. This is a CPU limited scene that no graphic setting can fix. So here's the bottom line. If you're playing through DeepFog Basin, quality mode is your safest bet on both consoles. For the Myurdin boss fight, the PS5 Pro genuinely earns its price. Balance mode with the near perfect 40 FPS lock is the best results across everything I tested. But C's Pailune is broken. There is no mode on either console that gives you an acceptable frame rate. Even quality mode, the lowest FPS target in the game, can't even hold 30 FPS on either console. This is clearly a CPU bottleneck that the Pro's extra GPU power simply cannot fix. Pailune needs to prioritize optimizing this section. It's the worst performing section in the entire game. What I want to see from Pailune in the next patch. First, C's Pailune area needs a serious performance pass. The fact that every mode fails here means this isn't a settings problem, it's an engine problem. Second, performance mode on both consoles still isn't delivering anywhere near 60 FPS in any demanding area we have tested. And third, PS5 Pro's PSSR advantage barely shows up when the CPU is the bottleneck. That needs attention at the engine level. If you want to see how the rest of the game performs in the open world and Hanran Town, I tested that in my previous video. I will link it in the description below. Now, my next video is going to be on Starfield on PlayStation 5 Pro. The game just launched on PlayStation and there are lots of graphics and settings and modes to go through. So it's going to take me some time to record and test everything properly, but it's coming. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Let me know in the comments which area in the Crimson Desert you still want me to test. Or if there's a specific Starfield setting that you want me to compare first. Drop a like if this helped, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you.